Hello everyone, this is Dr. Tom Gerard and I'm making this quick video to give you an introduction to the course Managerial Accounting. Welcome to Managerial Accounting. If you've already had the financial accounting class and you've watched the first video, I'm going to put the time that you can zoom this video to surpass all the discussion I have about the D2L and the learning management system that you already know because you have completed the financial accounting course. Congratulations, by the way. That's a tough course. Managerial accounting, very much different. I'm going to go through it again a little bit on using the learning management system, which I call D2L. That's the company that manufactures it, the software company. We also talk a little bit about Cengage, which that's the software that is operated by the publisher. And again, if you've already taken a class online at Oral Roberts, you are familiar with both of those. So I'll put down here at the bottom the time that you could move towards in the video to surpass all of that. Some of you, maybe you took financial accounting at another school, or you took it at Oral Roberts years ago or at a different time, and now you're coming back to take managerial accounting. Because this is the second of the two accounting classes that's really required for many majors, and specifically for those people that are business majors. Obviously, if you're going into accounting, you have to have financial accounting and managerial accounting. So let's go right into talking about the learning management system and how that works. Again, if you've already seen this part, please watch this video through to the end because I'm going to cover some other things that will help you in the course. But go ahead and you can move forward in the video to after I'm finished talking about that. So when you start right off in the learning management system, it's going to put you on this page, and of course it says introduce yourself. The first thing that it asks you to do, and maybe you've already done this, is to introduce yourself. This is a forum, and you post your introduction about yourself. Tell me a little bit about you, where you're from. Are you on campus traditionally, and in the summer you're taking online courses, or maybe you're somewhere completely different in the world. Our online courses, we have people from all over the world, and I think that's wonderful. I also have a video about that in my introduction that I post. I will do a video introduction. I like to have a video introduction because that way we make this online experience closer to being in the classroom when we can see each other and that kind of thing. So here's a little bit about welcome to Managerial Accounting. Now, I didn't set any of this up. It comes from the university so that it's all standardized. So, and I'm going to talk a little bit more. Welcome, of course, that's what my video is right now. Welcome to Managerial Accounting. So order your textbook. Now, again, if you've already taken the financial accounting, this is the same textbook because the textbook is the first part of the textbook, as you know, is the financial accounting. And then I think from chapter 15 going on is managerial accounting. And so if you've already got that, you don't have to do that again. Also, you can link right to almost all of the homework other than the forums will be done in the Cengage, the book publisher's software system, which is an online system that you can access anywhere. And you don't have to go out of the Oral Roberts system to go into Cengage. You can link right to it. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment if you've never done that. You don't want to go directly into Cengage typically, although you think you can. But if you link it from Oral Roberts, it's going to make sure you're in the right class at the right time, doing the right assignments. Okay, check your email. Now, of course, you have your email. I do communicate by email. However, I use the news function and announcement function. Those two terms, again, are used interchangeably. I will be posting something to the news every single week. An announcement every single week. Sometimes it's a video about the chapter that we're going to be talking about. Or it's just an introduction about some things to keep in mind. It may or may not be a video. But I communicate mostly through that. So I don't know if there's a setting that you do that says every time that I post or somebody posts to the news, what they call news or announcement, that it sends you the email. I'm not sure if it does that, but if there is a setting, please set it up, because you don't want to miss those announcements. And I try to make them probably just like now by Monday of the first week. Check your academic calendar. You know, things happen. We have lives, and all kinds of things can happen. If you need to withdraw or you need a little more time, you got to contact me. If you need to withdraw, then do that through the registrar's office and the normal channels that you would follow. If you just need a little more time on some assignments, please let me know. I can open them up and give you more time. However, this is a really short class, so there's really not a lot of time to extend. Now, when we get to the end, there really is no extension beyond the final day. Right? So you have time maybe to catch up a little bit in the beginning or in the middle, but towards the end, don't wait till the end to try to do, 2 or 3 weeks worth of work, because it's not going to happen. And then you'll be sad because you get your grade. You can't, it's too late to withdraw at that point. Okay, so what else? Let's talk about the syllabus a little quick here. See if I can get this where you can see it. So now here's your syllabus. It is also, of course, on your start here. Of course, I didn't show you the navigation, did I? Well, I'm sorry. I'm a little off today. It's Monday morning. I'm at home. It's raining. It's been about 100 and something degrees for the last 2 weeks. And now today it is 60 something degrees. It's fantastic. And I live about 30 miles north of the Oral Roberts campus. I'm an adjunct. I don't typically teach on campus. I'm teaching from home. And so anyway, here is your syllabus. I'm going to go back to the D2L again in just a moment, but I want to show you. So here's your Oral Roberts. All of your classes should be laid out the same. The mission of the university: spiritually alive, intellectually alert, physically disciplined, socially adept, professionally competent. This, when you come to the Oral Roberts, these are the kind of things why you come to this school, right? And notice biblical literacy and spiritual foundation, #1, right? So you can learn all there is to know about business and accounting, and maybe you become rich and successful someday. But real success comes from your relationship with the Lord, and that's been my position my whole life, and God has blessed me more than I can tell you. Okay, so program outcomes. This is for your Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, talking specifically about this. Now here it talks about the course goals. Managerial Accounting is the second of the 2 courses. That's the basic classes. Now if you go into an accounting emphasis, you're going to be taking more accounting classes, of course. But really you need to understand financial accounting that you probably have already taken now, before you can do really finance. Personally, I think you need accounting 1 before you take the finance. So finance, managerial accounting, of course, is second, and it's part of your program. Now, one thing, and I know students don't always do this, but always, if you don't read any of this other stuff, because, okay, I know that, it's a bunch of reading. Course objectives. Why are you here? What is this class about? Well, it says, after completing this course, I should be able to, right? And this is what the goal that we have set up to provide for you to accomplish. Now, of course, there's many more than 4 things, believe me. But if you can remember these 4 things 5 or 10 or 15 or maybe more years from now, then that's fantastic. It says here, provide information by managers to make decisions concerning day-to-day operations of a business. Wow. That is very broad, right? Information, that's accounting, by managers to make decisions. This is interesting because someday, if I ever live long enough, I'm going to write a book, Managerial Accounting Topics for Your Personal Life. Because what do we do as people? Not just so it says managers, but it doesn't have to be a manager. You could be a person that's a worker. You could be the CEO, CFO. You could be the CYA, which stands for cover your, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, person. But you have to make decisions concerning day-to-day operations of a business. So managerial accounting is about making decisions. Determine the cost of manufacturing a product or service. So from So one of the things I want to say here is financial accounting is very corporate. It talks about corporate financial statements, and after you get through with that class, which again you should have already been through, you understand that there's way more to this accounting business than you might have thought when you first started that class. Now, when you get to managerial accounting, you're thinking, well, this is kind of going to be more of the same thing. It's not. It's completely different, because what we talked about in financial accounting was financial statements, how to do the functions of accounting, and to break this information. Now we're going to talk about, in managerial accounting, how do we use this information, whether that's the financial statements or other types of information that accountants gather, to make decisions about the future. And so I'll do probably a video on Introduction to Chapter 1, because that really does help you understand. In Chapter 1, they go into detail. In fact, I believe that's your very first forum that you respond to, the difference between financial and managerial accounting. And so that's really really good thing. Okay, so cost of manufacturing. So managerial accounting typically focuses on manufacturing businesses, although again it says manufacturing a product or a service, so it can be used for services. But we focus a lot on manufacturing, because, and the reason is not because you're all going to be in manufacturing, because many of you probably are in services or going to wind up in services. But the idea is it's easier for us to get our brain around a physical product, right? We can think about things that we can see and feel and touch and that kind of thing. Calculate the cost, volume, profit analysis. This is one of my favorite things. You know, I when I teach on class in the standard classroom, I come to class every day saying, "Oh, this is my favorite topic," and they say, "Well, you said that last time you were here, and that was just 2 days ago." You know, and I say that every day in the semester because I really love all this stuff, to be honest with you, and I hope you do too. Cost, volume, profit analysis is one of my favorite topics, because if you've ever watched the TV show Shark Tank, then you'll know that that's how they make a decision, is by using cost, volume, profit analysis. So when you get through that chapter, you're going to have a pretty good understanding. You're going to watch Shark Tank from a completely different perspective. Now, some of the new shows on that program, because it's been on many years now, it's a little bit entertainment-y and TV-y, you know, but in the early days, you know, it was more, I don't know, structured, I guess, more business-like, you know, where they were really trying to do deals, but as opposed to just put on a show. And so anyway, one of the things you think in that is like, well, wait a minute, they're going to listen to these people talk for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then they're going to make a decision about investing hundreds of thousands of, or millions of dollars? How do they do that? Now, I know you know that there's editing and stuff in TV, but they use cost, volume, profit analysis. And it's such a great topic because it enables them to understand what's the break-even point. How much do I need to sell of this product? How much does it cost you to manufacture it? How much are you selling it for? What's your payroll? And all these kinds of things. And that's all encompassed in the cost, volume, profit analysis. And I'll talk a little bit more about that if I do an introduction to chapter 1 and 2. Okay. Evaluate alternative proposal for long-term investments. So remember, long-term investments are assets that we have for longer periods of time. Maybe we're going to buy a building, a truck, a machinery, you know, anything like that. And that's going to last us for more than a year, so to speak. And we got to make decisions, right? And a lot of those decisions, there's a whole category of them that you go through. And it talks about, you know, if I have a car wash. Have you ever been to one of those gas stations? And there's a gas station and then they got the car wash, you know, the little thing you drive your car through, you know, maybe not a real big giant car wash, but just one of those ones you drive your car through. So the car wash breaks down after so many cars, and now they have to decide, do we need a whole new car wash? Do we need to tear that one down and rebuild it? Or do we just need to fix that one up? Because they all involve costs and they all involve hopefully a return on your investment. And so that goes into long-term planning. Lease versus buy, make or outsource. If I'm, you know, making a product, for example, and this is really, you know, a simple example, but let's say we're a car manufacturer, you know, if we're Ford and we're making Ford cars or trucks, who makes the radio? Is it a Ford radio, or is it a JVC or Sony radio that we bought from somebody that is in the radio business, right? Those are decisions that you look at in managerial accounting too. Okay, so let's see, what else do I need to say? Okay, let's go back. I'm sorry, I told you to, those of you to skip ahead. But anyway, here's where we're going to see, we do with this page. We're going to go over here to content, right? I'm going to hit content. And that takes you to start here. This is your first thing. Now you'll see your syllabus we just went through is right here. It says meet your professor, which they got somebody else. I'm going to try to put my video in here, even though this professor is their typical person that teaches this course on campus. Now you'll have here Cengage direct link and student tutorials on how to work Cengage. Here's where you can access directly your Cengage. Cengage is where you're going to be doing your homework from the book. Now let's go to chapter 1 because this is start here. Let's go to week 1. And you'll see here on week 1 that there's normally Introduction to Managerial Accounting. Here's a little box that tells you what's going on. Some of these boxes are not really accurate because it does say form. Now in our last class it didn't even have the form written there. So you basically says here's your overview, here's the materials, here's some PowerPoint slides. It's also a PDF or a PowerPoint, whichever you prefer. 2 chapters, chapter 15 and 16 study guide, and this is of course resources for you to use. It's not mandatory, but it's there for you. Difference between financial. Now here's form 1, difference between financial and managerial accounting. When you click this, you want to do this the first week or 2. It says by week 1 or 3, but don't worry about that right now. Just get it done, but hopefully before next week. And when you go over there, I've already made a post so you can see some information about, well, doing the forms. Okay. And then if you hit homework right here, let me move my screen. Here's your homework. When I click on this, it's going to take me right to the Cengage where I do my homework. Okay. So that's all I need to say right now. If you have any questions, by the way, I check my email all the time. Send me an email. You can send me a text if you need to. If you are having issues with a particular problem in Cengage, email me through Cengage, because when you do that, it will send me the exact problem that you're working on. Okay, that's very important. Because Cengage randomizes people's homework. So somebody might have the same questions with different numbers, and they do that to prevent people from cheating or whatever. But the idea is that if you just say, oh, I need help with number 3 in chapter 14, well, your number 3 is different from other people's number 3. So I don't know whose number 3 you got. So anyway, if you do that, please email me right through Cengage, and then I can respond either through the email. Now that's another story. I'd like to do screenshots when I send you the response on what you're supposed to be doing, and sometimes I can't do that through the Oral Roberts email system. So I'll use my own personal email, and I'll let you know that, by the way, though. So I'll respond to you if I put in a screenshot. If I'm responding to a specific problem, okay, so email me in Cengage. I'll get the email from Cengage with the exact problem, and then I can respond to the exact problem for you. Okay, so this is a 19-minute video, and I won't have so many videos as we go on. This chapter, first week is a lot going on, so I want to make sure I make a connection with you and explain some of these things.